Ready?
Yep.
Are you guys ready to laugh?
Yep.
Woo! I'm Sheila Naifeh. So glad for the 6 or 7 of you that stayed to hear us. I come with this other comedian who we've been up about a couple of months. We've been lawyers for years, so bear with us. We're trying. We have a lot of fun, but I'm telling you, this crowd is so much better than the Gypsy Coffee House. If you've ever been there, has anybody ever been there? Okay, why? Did you go back?
Still alive?
Yeah, anyway. No, oh sorry. No, it's kind of like, the experience is kind of like, I don't know, slipping a roofie to a dead hooker. You guys are so much better, I'm telling you. I mean, the lady there, Mary, told me, I've got to really try to get their attention, so I told them, you know, you guys really think you have your life all worked out? Well, you don't. I mean, look at me, I'm a 45-year-old shitty comic playing to a bunch of coffee-drinking hipsters, sitting around brooding and shit, sitting in the corner, pretending like you don't want people to see you. Morose motherfuckers. They did not appreciate my humor, so the lady Mary says, maybe you should try some performance art. They're so delicate. So I took my shirt off and jumped up and down. No, seriously, I have a lot of fun doing that. It's just a challenge. But I am a 45-year-old woman who has a hard time getting dates. And it's even harder finding a guy my age who wants a commitment. So I kind of want to meet the guys like you see on TV. Like that Norwegian guy that killed all those kids, but god damn, he was gorgeous. And he was single. He had a romantic chalet in the mountains. He has his own manifesto, you know he's kinky, and he's not afraid to commit, let me tell you. I even thought about online dating, eHarmony, Plenty of Fish, Christian Mingle. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, my friends tried it and I thought, you know, that's not for me. I want a guy to lie to my face. I'm old-fashioned like that. I finally thought I found the perfect type of guy, though. He's desperate, he hasn't been laid in months, and he's not afraid to commit. You know, girls, married men. So I started dating one, and my best friend was such a bitch about it. She's like, God damn, he's so gross. He's an asshole. I can't believe you're sleeping with him. Well, she's a fucking hypocrite. She married the fucker. No, I always meet the guys who are afraid to commit. You meet them online, all they want is a one-nighter, and they're always afraid of those 3 little words. I'm Chris Hansen. Now, you always meet those guys in a bar, I always meet the creeps. You meet them, they don't look at your boobs, they look you directly in the eyes and say, so how old are your boys? I was like, yeah, I've had kids. Just none of them made it past the first trimester. No, you guys, I'm sorry. I know that's a serious subject, but I am pro-choice. And I feel like I have the right to voice my opinion. I mean, the pro-lifers, you know what I'm talking about? The pro-lifers voice their opinions all the fucking time. They got those bumper stickers, what do they say? Abortion stops a beating heart? Well, let's just be honest about it. Abortion just really stops a beating. No, I hate to confuse you guys. I've never had kids. I just can't imagine the thought of having another person inside my body for 9 months. It scares the crap out of me. Hell, I can't stand having another person inside me for 20 minutes. No, I thought about adopting, but that waiting child segment that they have on TV, it just makes it kind of cheap. It's like one big long infomercial for child predators. It's like they take those kids and they put them up by the front register like at Walmart or something, and it's like it's an impulse buy. I'll take that one. Well, they're doing that all wrong too, because what they really ought to do is take that kid, put him in front of a computer. He wouldn't have to sell himself very hard. Put him in an adult chat room. All he has to say is, I am a 13-year-old boy. Boom! 30 hits right there. I mean, they ought to merge the waiting child segment with adult friend finder. You'd get a 100% success rate in placement. Shit, the pedos, they're going to get their kids anyway. Might as well give them the kids that are already fucked. So, now I bitch a lot about dating, having kids, but I actually do have a boyfriend. His name is Bill Brock, but he's decided to call himself The Brock. T-H-A Brock. What a dick. I'm kind of glad he's not here right now to hear this shit. But no, if you call yourself The Brock, you've got to have done something really spectacular in your life, or you're just special. Well, he did drop out of high school in picture. It's okay, he was still third in his class. Those of you that don't know anything about Pitcher, it was a lead mining town. Where, you could just picture it. I mean, you see these country bumpkins sitting around eating paint chips and shit, and all the kids had brain damage. Probably from riding their shitty ATVs all over those lead chat piles. So the federal government came in and took care of them, gave them each $100 grand. So those kids went out, they bought bigger and better ATVs to ride those chat piles, I can tell you. If my boyfriend was here, I'd point him out and say, you gotta get a visual on this guy, he looks like a surfer dude with real long hair, and I always point him out and say, look at him, I mean, stop it with the hair. I mean, we look like a lesbian couple, and I'm pissed off about it, because now he's the pretty one. If you call yourself The Brock, you have got to be a dirty bastard in the bedroom, let me tell you. And you know, girls, he's going to name his sexual positions. And he's going to think he's the only one that's ever performed them. Well, this time he was right. He's got one he calls the Golden Driller. God, you could just picture it. I mean, it is really spectacularly weird. It involves a quart of Valvoline, 20 ball bearings, and a pipe wrench. Sometimes he wears rubber boots. Sometimes a miner's hat. Hell, sometimes he does it by himself. But it's illegal in every state except Montana. No, girls, if you're afraid of the Dirty Sanchez, don't even attempt the Golden Driller. Guys, don't try to videotape it. It's not going to fit the TV screen. I can sum it all up in one word. Wipes. Lots and lots of wipes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me at Open Stage here at the Crystal Pistol. This is the most fun I've had all night. Thank you very much. The next comic we do have is my favorite buddy, C.R. Parsons.
Thank you, Sheila. Let's keep that up. Woo! There we go. You know, it's funny. Sheila and I did play the Gypsy Coffee House Tuesday night. Were any of you guys downtown Tuesday night? Trying to get into downtown Tuesday night was awful because the vice president was in town. And of course, Sheila, being the smart like she is, put up on her Facebook, I am about to bomb at the Gypsy Coffee House. I'm thinking, let me see, a Lebanese woman claiming she's going to bomb at a Gypsy Coffee House with the vice president. Probably not a good idea.
Wait, who's our vice president again?
I don't have a clue. Now see, I hate allergies. Allergies drive me nuts because anytime the weather changes, I end up talking about like this, like I had too much blow last night. And it always, never fails. Every time, somebody has to tell me about their home remedy of how to solve this. My mother always says, drink 8 ounces of juice every 30 minutes and it'll flush whatever's wrong right out of you. My granddad always said, a teaspoon of honey and a shot of Jack Daniels will cure what ails you. So I combine the two. I drink 8 ounces of Jack every 30 minutes until I just don't give a damn.
There you go. Step it up.
Now see, I was in a bar the other night and I noticed they had drinks named after people, like the Lindsay Lohan and things like that. They had one named after Osama bin Laden. It was 2 shots and a splash of ocean water. So I got to thinking, you know, who else could you name drinks after? I'm thinking maybe the Bill Clinton It's a body shot off of the ugliest intern in the room. or my personal favorite, the Dick Cheney. It's a shot, but you don't actually drink it. You throw it in somebody's face and make them apologize. And then I was watching the Casey Anthony trial, and you know, when she got off, it was absolutely hysterical to watch Nancy Grace fall to pieces. And I decided we could name one after Nancy Grace. It's a whiskey sour with a bitter back. And speaking of the Casey Anthony trial, you know, she got free, and she has been sued for $1 million. That's million with an M. $1 million for all of the expenses she cost the state of Florida. I'm thinking, you know, now that she's free and she has a very well-known name, maybe she can sponsor some products, you know, put her name on some products like Casey Anthony Chloroform, or Casey Anthony Duct Tape with the little hearts, or my personal favorite, the Casey Anthony Corsage. It's just like a regular corsage, only without that little sprig of baby's breath. I know, that was awful. That was awful. I've decided, you know, everybody I know these days has ADD. Everybody's on Ritalin or something like that. And I blame technology. I blame technology because, you know, when I was a kid, they said our attention span was 7.5 minutes long because that was the length of time between commercials. Nowadays, I'm thinking more like 130 characters. OMG, I gotta go GTL is now actually considered a sentence. And you know, the worst part about it is, you know this happens with every generation. I know my parents blamed MTV. I'm sure their parents blamed TV. But you wonder how far back that goes. I mean, was there somebody way back going, kids these days painting on the wall, whatever happened to pantomime? Or look at Joe, he thinks he's so evolved walking up on 2 feet. And you know, I also hate bumper stickers. I know Sheila mentioned bumper stickers a little earlier. I hate them because there are some things that need a little more space than that to express a thought. You know, a lot of times they can be misinterpreted depending on what it says. I was behind a car the other day. Bumper sticker said, "Try Jesus." I thought, tastes like chicken. Goes great with red wine. But I still read the newspaper. Not Google News, not Yahoo headlines. The actual, you know, print on your fingers newspaper. And I do that for a reason, because you learn things by reading on down into the story. Perfect example, I was reading the other day that Miss USA, from out in California, whatever her name is, she called herself a history geek. She said in the story that she absolutely loves history books, and every time she sees one, she just has to buy it. She didn't say anything about reading them. She just collects them like shoes, I guess. Or I also read that Donald Duck got arrested in Ohio. What? Yeah, Donald Duck. Apparently there's a guy, a 56-year-old gentleman in Ohio named Donald Duck, who was arrested on a children's playground for possession of drugs. Now, had you read Google headlines, that's all you would know. And that's funny enough. But luckily, I read on down into the story and found that this Donald Duck was wearing pants. Thank goodness. But I thought to myself, you know, what kind of parent names their kid Donald Duck and expects them not to have a drug problem by the time they're 56? But the good news is they should not have any trouble convicting him, because after just a few minutes of questioning, he quacked. I know. That's a terrible punchline. Terrible. I was reading the LA Times the other day, and I saw an ad. That's the other thing you don't get with Google News or Yahoo News. I saw an ad for a place, and the sign said, "Condoms to go." What in the world is going on in California where they have to tell you, these are to go? They are not for here. With somebody walking up to the cash register and going, "No, I'd like those for here, and can I have a queen-size bed to go with that?" Now, I'm from Oklahoma. Are any of you guys from here? I mean, like, born and raised here?
Sadly.
Sadly? Well, you know, it's an odd place. It is an odd state. It is the only state I know where you cannot buy a car on a Sunday, but you can buy a lap dance. It's the only state I know that you cannot buy wine at the grocery store, but you can buy meth at any high school. Speaking of meth, I'm not going to say Oklahoma has a meth problem.
Never.
Don't have to. We have so many people in Oklahoma cooking meth that we are the only state with meth chefs. Now there's a show you'd like to see on Food Network. You know, today on Meth Chef we have Bubba from Wagner. Okay, what you do is you take this here Sudafed. Now I always use Sudafed, never that Wall-U-Fed stuff. And I grind it up in the coffee grinder. Doesn't do nothing for the meth, but it does wonders for the coffee. Then you add a little splash of Drano, and next thing you know, bam! You got meth! Actually, if you get to bam, you probably shook it a little too long. And I've decided that the whole shake and bake method of making meth was completely unintentional. Somebody just put all the ingredients in the bottle and handed it to a tweaker and said, here, hold this still. But back to why Oklahoma is such an odd state. You know, we are the only state in the Union that has a courthouse with the 10 Commandments posted outside and a judge with a penis pump on the inside.
Nice.
Now, I have to say, I was outed earlier by Sheila. I am an attorney in real life, and I don't hold that against me. I'm a good attorney. No, I'm a good person who is an attorney. And I know that's kind of contradictory, you know. It's
Oxymoron.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron, you know, kind of like an honest politician or a non-criminal attorney.
Oxymoron.
But, you know, I was always told when I was younger to dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have. And when I was a kid, that worked perfectly. Because I didn't want to work. I wanted to be laying out on the beach. So I wore flip-flops and shorts, and sure enough, before too long, I had all the time to lay on the beach I wanted. But did you know that in Arkansas, they will kick you out of a courtroom if you are wearing a judge's robe and aren't a judge? And I remember very clearly that period of time between taking the bar exam and getting the bar exam results. It's a scary moment. It's a scary moment. I went to Kinko's and I had business cards printed up. One said, C.R. Parsons, barrister. The other said, C.R. Parsons, barista. Now, I am a married gentleman, believe it or not. I've been married for 12 years now, which you learn a lot after being married for 12 years. First thing I learned was the difference between a girlfriend and a wife. 10 years and 30 pounds. I know, that's a tacky joke. And my wife hates it when I tell it, but she's not here, so I can get away with it. No, we have two boys. Thank God we have boys, because you've all heard the saying, you know, when you have boys, you have one penis to keep up with, but when you have girls, you have to keep up with all of them. 2 boys, 2 penises. Apparently we lost track of one. Because I'm now a grandfather. My grandson's 2.5 years old, and that is a cute age. He's fun. I mean, yeah, he roams around the house and pees in his pants and talks gibberish, but now when I come home drunk, I'm not the only one. My wife has a shoe closet. Not a closet with shoes in it. A closet just for her shoes. Top to bottom, front to back, nothing but shoes. And I will never understand why women pay huge amounts, hundreds of dollars for these designer name brand shoes. I guarantee they are not doing it for us guys. Because if you, as a woman, are ever interested in a guy who knows the difference between satin platform peak-toe Jimmy Choos and patent leather peak-toe Christian Louboutins, he's not interested in you. It's the shoes. Or your brother. But my wife also grew up very sheltered. She grew up in Jinx, which, if you're not from here, is the whitest suburb of this white city. She grew up in an extremely sheltered household. Our boys played sports. They played football. And they named the teams after colors. You had the red team, the blue team, the black team. Well, our boys played for the white team. Yeah, you're getting ahead of me. My wife, the sheltered soul that she is, thought it would be a good idea to put on their t-shirts, "White Power."
Oh, God.
I'm like, let's go ahead and get them sponsored by Kevin's Krispy Kreme. And you know, that's about as racist a joke as you're going to get from me. Not because they're not funny. I think racist jokes are hysterical. But I'm a middle-aged white guy. I'm not allowed to tell them. Every racist joke I have ever told in my entire life starts exactly the same way. Okay, I got a joke for you guys.
Wait, you binoculars too?
But I will tell you, I do believe in stereotypes. I think stereotypes exist for a reason because somebody lived up to that stereotype. And every time I say that, somebody always says, well, I know so-and-so who doesn't fit that stereotype. I know so-and-so who doesn't fit that stereotype. Of course you do. If you didn't, it wouldn't be called a stereotype, it'd be called a fact. I'm sure somewhere there is an Asian woman who can drive and did not graduate at the top of her class. I'm sure somewhere there is a black man who cannot stand fried chicken and understands hockey. I'm sure somewhere there is a Jew who pays retail. I'm sure somewhere there is a Mexican who lives by himself and never carpools. I'm sure somewhere there is a rude Canadian. I'm sure somewhere in Arkansas there is somebody with a full set of teeth who does not think the tornado sounded like a train. And last but not least, I'm sure somewhere there is a blonde who gets these jokes. That's my time for tonight.